Hello and welcome to the second tier. I'm Ryan Dilks and I'm joined by Justin Peach because, ladies and gentlemen, we've got manager news. Valerien Ismael has been appointed the new boss at West Brom. He leaves Barnsley after a fantastic season in the Championship last season. Justin Peach, your reaction to this?
Pretty sad, actually, because of, my love for Barnsley for starters. I really enjoyed them last season. I thought they were terrific, and the style of football wasn't to everyone's cup of tea, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I thought something could be built, but it's a bit of a statement appointment from West Brom, I think, because I feel like Ishmael, perhaps, I think I was saying in the playoff preview episodes, that a top half Bundesliga team will come sniffing at some point, because the style of play that he's put in, it's very Bundesliga-esque, the gegenpress and whatnot. But yeah, it's disappointment from that perspective, but it's a good appointment for West Brom. My only reservations are: will the players are the players set up to play that system? Do they have the players to play that system? I don't know. I don't think they do.
Yeah. Valerien Ismael was without a doubt the best manager in the Championship last season. There's absolutely no debating that, in my opinion. The thing I would say is I'm not completely sold on this appointment. I love Valerien Ismael with all my heart. It's just I'm not completely sold on it just yet. And I'll get onto that in a sec. First off, it's important to point out that he was by no means the first choice at West Brom. They have seemingly gone through quite a few candidates in that shortlist, Chris Wilder being one of them. I think David Wagner was another one who was being heavily linked with the job, but for whatever reason didn't get it. And they finally settled on Valerien Ismael after coming to agree with compensation, which was, I think, £2.5 million, which is a fair old sum for Barnsley. I'm in the same boat as you. I think in terms of the style of play, it's a drastic style of play to try and implement on a new squad. The players that they've got there at the moment, I think, could adapt to it, but it will take some time for them to really get to grips with how Valerien Ismael wants to play and how to succeed as a football club. And I will also say, as much as I love Valerien Ismael, one good season doesn't necessarily make you a good manager. If they had gotten someone like Chris Wilder, I'd have been a lot more confident about them getting promoted next season, because Chris Wilder's got a proven track record at numerous different clubs across the country, whereas Valerien Ismael has only had one season at Barnsley, albeit a very, very good season. But whether he can get West Brom back into the Premier League at the first time of asking is a big ask. Whether he can do it, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we're not disregarding the West Brom squad, because the West Brom squad is fantastic, and it's a very, very good Championship squad. It's a good Premier League squad. But the Valerien Ismael's style of play is relentless pressing. The defenders sit literally on the halfway line, because they stick teams in their own half and they sit on the halfway line. It's a lot of coaching to put that in, and you're going from Slaven Bilic to Sam Allardyce, where style of play has been out of possession, relatively passive, relatively structured and organised, fairly deep, be hard to break down. Whereas Barnsley last season, as we saw, were on the front foot. Ismael might tweak things. I think that would be the wise thing to do, because going into a club and just putting in your stamp without fully understanding the players, I mean, it's career suicide, isn't it? We've seen it countless times with other managers go in and try and play their way, which doesn't suit the squad. So yeah, they're the reservations, but he is a good manager, and this will be an interesting transition for him as well as West Brom, because, as I say, the style of play factor is a bit of a sticking point. But as I've said, Ismael might adapt how he plays, and slowly transition it into the way he wants.
I think the West Brom squad can adapt to it. When they're in the Championship, they weren't exactly as, defensive as they possibly were in the Premier League last season, and were willing to be on the front foot, and they're going to have to be on numerous front foots in this new style of play for Valerien Ismael. My initial instinct is this is a good appointment. I have still got reservations, but when you consider that they were possibly getting in David Wagner, I was not a fan of that appointment at all. This is probably the best manager they could have got who was realistic for them, I think. Would you agree?
Yeah. To be honest with you, I thought Ismael might have been, I think he might have been, well, I would have thought he'd be aiming for a Premier League job.
Well, he was linked with Palace, wasn't he?
Well, exactly. And obviously, he's a former Palace player. And I've mentioned the Bundesliga aspect as well. I thought that might have played into it, but it's a good opportunity for him. But as I say, going back to Barnsley, similar to Struber, how Struber left with a few games into the season, it's really bad timing. It's terrible timing. And again, they've been put in this position, which is, I guess, to be expected because they're at the mercy of the big clubs with big money coming to handpick their very best. And that's Ismael, possibly Alex Mowat, and any others, which is a massive shame because we were feeling that Barnsley could build something.
Well, you say it's really bad timing. Barnsley managed to finish in the playoffs last season after losing their manager.
That is true.
After what was it, 6-7 games?
Yeah.
So it's not like this club to lose their manager at an awkward time and be able to pull off something magnificent. It all depends whether they've got someone lined up. With Ismael, it seems like they had him on the radar pretty close by for when Struber did leave. And you'd hope they have got someone lined up to take over for when Valerien Ismael, well, now that Valerien Ismael has gone. So that'll be interesting to see who they do bring in. I imagine they'll go abroad again, somewhere around Germany, that kind of area, and just pull someone out. Yeah, pull someone out the hat, see who they get in. And he'll probably be an absolutely fantastic manager because what we've seen with Struber, Stendel, Ismael, they know how to get these managers in. And it wouldn't surprise me if they manage to do it again. Whether they can have as successful a season as Valerien Ismael and continue to build upon it, we'll have to wait and see, because that's a big ask, a big, big ask. But considering what this club have done before, I wouldn't rule it out. I think that just about sums everything up, Justin. So this has been the second tier, once again, reacting to some breaking news in the Championship. This time it's Valerien Ismael going to West Brom, leaving Barnsley in the process. We'll be back again very soon, ladies and gentlemen, to react to some more of the breaking news that happens in the Championship. And we'll also be bringing to you some more content in the near future, Championship-related content. So you have that to look forward to. We'll speak to you again very soon.